Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a while. First and foremost, it's been so long that I've actually taken a video, but I just somehow neglected my YouTube channel, and I thought the best way to come back, hopefully more frequently this time, would be through a get to know me tag. So I do have quite a couple of questions. I've written them all down. You can't see that clearly at all. And I stopped numbering halfway through. So I'm gonna try to get through these as quickly as possible, and maybe I'll skip some. But so what is your full name and what does it mean? So my full name, any of you who have me on Facebook will know that my full name is Mokgethwa Boipelo Atlegang, and my last name is Kekana. What does it mean? Mokgethwa means the chosen one. Boipelo means someone to be proud of. Atlegang means to succeed, and my last name doesn't have a meaning as far as I know. So my full name is Mokgethwa Boipelo Atlegang Kekana, and I love my name. The next question is, where are you from, where were you born, and where did you grow up? Okay, so I am from South Africa, specifically from Pretoria in South Africa. I was born in Pretoria as well. I grew up in Pretoria and Joburg interchangeably, and now I live in Australia. That wasn't a part of the question, but yeah, that's where I am at the moment. The next question is, which of your parents are you closest to and which one are you most like? Now this one is a little bit difficult. I would say I'm closest to my mom, but I don't know that my mom would say that I'm closest to her. I think both my parents would think I'm close to the other one. I would say my mom, but I'm definitely most like my dad. The good and the bad, like I'm most definitely like my dad. The next question is, what is my biggest fear? My biggest fear would definitely be failure, which leads into the next question, which is, what is my biggest regret? And my biggest regret is not doing things because of the fear of failure. And I mean, I have many examples of such instances in my life, but I won't get into it because I have a lot of questions to get through and I think they're really good. But my biggest regret is definitely not doing things that I wanted to because I was scared of failure. Next question is, what inspires you? And this is a big one because especially over this past week, I've just found myself so passionate and I'm like, God, where does this come from? But I would reckon what inspires me the most is definitely people. Yeah, definitely people. Like all sorts of things about people. That's what inspires me. What is the most important thing in your life? Oh, the most important thing in my life would be my relationship with God, most definitely. Yeah. I was trying to think if there's more to that, but I reckon the most important thing in my life is definitely my relationship with God. Next question, what was your most and your least favorite subject in high school? My most favorite subject, I think like this would change a lot. Like I don't think I had one consistent favorite subject throughout my school career. I would say that the subject that I was doing the best in at that moment, which was consistently Afrikaans. I did really well in Afrikaans all through high school. But one of my other favorites would be biology. I really enjoyed biology. My least favorite subject in school would have been science. Once I got to grade 10, I didn't have to take it, so thank the Lord for that. Or history, interchangeably science and history, physics and history. Yeah, look, no. And geography, it has to be geography. My least favorite subject in school was definitely geography. Next question, are you more likely to avoid conflict or to engage it head on? I wish I could say that I am more likely to engage it head on, but the former is true. I am more likely to avoid conflict. I cannot stand conflict. And I feel like I am afraid to resolve conflict in case it like results in a fight, and I can't stand fights. So I just prefer to avoid it, which is not very healthy. So it is something that I know I need to work on. It's just taking really long to happen. Yeah. Next question. If you had more courage, what would you do differently in your life now? This is hard. If I had more courage, I would probably do everything that I wanted to do, and not second guess anything. You know, when you're like, ah, this would be such a good idea, or like you have all these countless business ideas or these great ideas for videos, even on YouTube, great ideas for songs, because I'm a songwriter, all those sorts of things where you have great ideas, but because like I'm a little fearful, I tend to like maybe not do it or take longer to actually get things done. So I think if I had more courage, I would be more proactive in pursuing my thoughts and ideas. Yeah, definitely that. Next question, Titanic or The Notebook? Most definitely The Notebook. And I feel like a lot of you might hate me for this because everyone's like a classic Titanic fan, but I'm terrible with movies and I rarely remember what happens in movies, so I don't remember much about the Titanic, and I don't necessarily enjoy movies, so I wouldn't go back and watch it so I can remember. I'm not one of those, but I do know that the Titanic is really good music. Like, yes, Titanic, good music. I love the soundtrack for Titanic, but I definitely prefer The Notebook, probably because I remember it. Next question is, what do I do for a living? Most of you guys may or may not know this, but I am in Bible college. I have completed a degree in finance before. I worked in the industry and then I decided to leave that life behind and come to Bible college at the age of 25. Who am I? Yeah, that's just the story of my life. But I do go to Bible college at Hillsong, and I work part-time as well, as an accountant, bookkeeper, PA, whatever, and I tutor as well on the side. So that's what I do for a living. What are some of your bad habits is the next question. I have a lot. I hate to admit that because I wish I was perfect like Jesus, but I'm far from it. One that I can think of at the top of my head, which is not at the very top because I can't seem to think. One, okay, that just came to mind right now. Some of my bad habits is that I don't reply to texts immediately. I apologize, friends. I tend to want to take my time in replying to texts. Certain things I can easily like reply on the go, but generally I will either, sometimes I don't even read them immediately. Yeah, that's a bad habit. Sometimes I don't even answer calls when I'm not necessarily doing anything. I just prefer not to answer it. Yeah, I apologize. Working on that. Next question is, do you have any allergies? Yes, I have a lot. My friends have always known me to be the child with like tons of allergies. It's just in my family. I pray that it will not be the case for my children, but I am allergic to gluten, I am allergic to dairy, I am allergic to, I'm forgetting something, gluten, dairy, and possibly many other things. I'm allergic to like dust and all those things, like dust and cat hair and animals things. I would say cats because obviously don't like those things, but like animal hair, grass, yeah, all that stuff. Like I'm just a very sensitive child. And the next question is, do you believe in love at first sight? This says a lot about me, and the answer is definitely not. I do not believe in love at first sight. And when I wrote this question down, I was thinking, what do I think about Adam and Eve? I'm like, I don't necessarily know that wasn't love, right? I believe that would have been more of a decision, like, or like a revelation, bone of my bone, but I don't think it was love, so I do not believe in love at first sight. I also will go on to say that I do not believe in attraction at first sight. Like, I do think that it's possible to see someone, and this happens to me too, like I will see someone and be like, oh, you're good looking. But attraction, I think it takes a couple of conversations and finding out like more about a person. So I do not believe in love at first sight, and I just think it's important that everybody knows that I don't believe in love at first sight. Next question, who was your first celebrity crush? I think I would have had one before this, but the one that I can remember to be my first celebrity crush is definitely David Beckham. I used to have such a thing for David Beckham, and I think his biography might have been the first book that I read, and I was very young. I probably either just before I became a teenager or in the very early stages of my teenage years. His biography was the very first book I read, and had the biggest crush on David Beckham. The next question is, what scares you about aging? I was gonna skip this one because it seems a little irrelevant. But what scares me about aging is living a life of unfulfilled purpose, like getting old and realizing that I've done nothing about what I should, like things that I should have tapped into. That scares me a lot. Like I am freaked out by the idea of waking up one day and not having done all that I dreamed that I should. Yeah, so I'm like, oh God, can I just remain young for a little while longer so I can get those things done? Yeah. Next question, where was I? Do you have any tattoos and how many? This, I guess, can be like a quite controversial question in my life, because for a very long time I didn't. And so people are very shocked that I do. The answer is yes, I have tattoos, and I have two. You can see this one. Oh, not clearly, but it says no other name. I wish I could show it to you better. And then I have one like right over here. I'm wearing a sweater now, so you won't be able to see it. So this one here says no other name. And this one over here is the date that I got saved in Roman numerals. So I've got two tattoos, and people still don't know that. So after this, hopefully everyone will be in the loop. Next question, have you ever won a trophy or an award, and what was it for? I was never very sporty growing up, so you better believe that I didn't win a trophy for sports. But I was quite academic. And I got the top achiever for my grade 11 year. And then the next question after my high moment of trophy winning is, what is the worst grade you've gotten on a test? As academic as I was, I had very low moments. The first one that I can remember was in grade 10, my June exam. I think I got like 34%. It was rough, okay? It was a maths exam in grade 10 and I got 34% for it. I think I had another one in varsity though. Ooh, finance, I think second year. Could have been third, I don't remember, but one of, school just got rough. In third year of university, I remember I think getting either 11% or 22% for a test that I thought I had studied well enough for, but I didn't, because I got like 10% or 11% or something weird like that. But I will say that I did go on to get a distinction for that module because I was determined to like overcome. I was determined to be victorious, and thank you, Jesus, I did. I was. Oh, English. You know what I'm trying to say. Next question. What is the one thing about yourself that you hope will change but probably never will? I think the fact, and the fact that I said I think, proves this to be true, but I would definitely say that it's the fact that I overthink everything. Like my mind is super overactive, and it's not always bad. Like when you say you overthink things, people generally assume that it's negative. It's not always, but it sometimes is, because sometimes it's just as easy as making a decision, but because my mind is like overactive, I want to think and rethink, and it's not always necessary. So that's one thing that I hope will change, but it probably never will. Still hoping it will though. Next question. What is the first app you check when you wake up? Now, being the good Christian girl that I aspire to be, I wish the answer was consistently the Bible app. It is on some days because I'm trying to build that habit. Like I'm so conscious about opening my eyes and grabbing my phone and then going in the YouVersion Bible app to check out the verse of the day, because I'm actually trying to cultivate that habit in my life. You know, you gotta work hard at these things. But my natural inclination is towards usually going to the app where I have like a message or something like that I missed while I was sleeping. And then the next question is, what was the best news you ever received? And I thought about this when I was writing it down, and I think it was probably the fact that my mom was cancer-free, because she battled cancer for like a couple of months, not even as long as most people battle it, but it was quite severe, and yeah, I didn't know the extent of it at the time, but I think the best news I've ever received was that she was cancer-free after those couple of months. And the next question is, what has been the hardest thing for you to face or to learn? Oh, I don't really know, but I think the hardest thing that I've had to face or learn is actually that life is tough. Yeah, I would actually say that's one of the things that I'm learning as an adult, and I'm learning to be okay with, is that life isn't always good. Like, to live a good life is to choose to see the good in things, right? So circumstances aren't always great, and that's really hard because growing up as a child, you have all these dreams, and I heard this when I was younger, that you have all these dreams as a child and you never imagine that they won't work out, and then you grow up and you have, like, you're exposed to the harsh reality of circumstances that don't necessarily work out the way that you intended for them to, and that's quite hard. Like, that's extremely sobering and it's quite hard, and I think at the top of my head that would be the hardest thing that I've had to face. My second last question is, one thing you know now that you wish you knew as a kid. Is that I have the strength to overcome. As a child, I sometimes just felt like I would never make it, and then looking back now, I'm like, you were stronger than you think. Yeah, and another thing definitely that I wish I knew as a kid is that it's okay to be sensitive. I grew up just bottling things up because I always wanted to be strong and all of that stuff. So I think I wish I knew that it was okay to be sensitive. And my last question, which is probably the most irrelevant, I could have gone without this, but the last question is, what animal scares me the most? And that is very easy. That would definitely have to be a cat. I cannot stand cats. I want nothing to do with cats. I don't want to see it. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to think it. I don't want to dream about it. Cats terrify me. And if I can tell you a story, the one day I was in my room getting ready for school or church or something, and there was a cat that stood right outside my window. Right now, we have a double-storied house, so I live upstairs. And like my window is like right up the roof. There's like a little roofy thing, and then so the cat came up, and I don't know whose cat it is. It's one of the stray cats in the neighborhood, and it came up and it stared me dead in the eyes, and I nearly lost my mind. And I mean, the window was closed. I was inside. I could have easily like shoot it, but I was like, oh my gosh, terrified. Yeah, and that's all about me that I hope helped you get to know me better. Yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or anything, you can leave them in the comments below. And remember to like the video, give it a thumbs up, and to subscribe to my channel. Bye! Thanks for watching!